Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speakeasy Studios. I have a couple of my dear friends with me. I have Barbie, Lindsay, and Trisha Brooks with Remax Desert Showcase, Remax Hustle, Speakeasy Studios, 3602. Two of my dear friends, probably some of my partners in real estate that I've been working with now for 15, 16, almost 17 years now. And that is pretty uncommon when you think about partnerships in real estate. And so I want to first start off by saying how incredibly grateful I am to both of you. When I think back to success in mortgage lending, success in real estate, I believe that it's based off of a foundation of partnerships and trust. And that's something that I feel like I've built with both of you over the years. I'm grateful for your trust and partnership for your clients. And it's been a lot of fun to do life with both of you. So thank you and welcome to Speakeasy Studios.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
100%. So you ladies have adopted the moniker of whiskey sippin' realtors. You know, one of the things that I love about you guys is that I've learned from both of you in particular that you have fun. You have fun in real estate and you have fun selling homes. You guys have a beautiful partnership with one another that kind of transcends transactions and it moves into doing life together, not only serving families, but doing life together within your family. You guys vacation together. You go to Alaska. I've seen you guys all over the world together, and it's just beautiful to watch and see.
Ireland. Yeah.
Hawaii, Ireland.
Yep.
Check. Love it. So you ladies brought some, looks like you've got a little whiskey there for us today that we're going to be sampling. By the name of that is what, Trish?
This is Horse Soldier.
Horse Soldier. So Barbie, it's got a little bit of a history or a backstory to that. What is it?
Yeah, Barbie actually found this one, so tell us all, Barbie.
Yes. So the reason I chose this one, first of all, it is veteran owned. So we love our veterans, support them.
We do.
And it is, distilled in Columbus, Ohio. But we're
not going to drink that whole bottle today, are we?
I don't see why we couldn't.
Did you see the shock on my face? Like what?
We got you said all day.
All day. Okay. Yes.
We're going to Crown King later. So
Ooh,
yeah,
all right.
to drive.
That's right.
No, but it is the veterans that.
You said they were in Afghanistan?
They were.
Okay, they served in Afghanistan together?
On horseback.
Same platoon.
Same platoon for many years.
Now they're
So
distilling
good friends.
whiskey.
They are.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So not only are we going to sip whiskey, we're going to salute our veterans at the same time. Trish, you want to hook us up, sister?
I can.
Get us a little pour going here. So while Trish is doing that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more here about you guys. Thank you. Look at that beautiful ice ball, by the way. Who brought that?
I do believe that was you, and we're very impressed that you had the right type
I might
of
have
ice.
been prepared, although it is
Have you been watching our
interesting.
videos?
I've watched a couple of them, yes,
we
for
do
sure.
Like, the big ice balls, big balls. We like that.
Yes.
Shots fired. We that didn't take long. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And we also know to go 2 fingers. You might have got 3.
Wow. Should we put a parental guidance on this little pod that we're doing right now? Because it could get out of hand quickly. All right. So should we all sip it together briefly? And by the way, let me tell you a quick story before we take our first sip. We were walking down here. Taylor was filming the initial story of the building acquisition. I walked down here and I said, I don't know, maybe we'll convert this into maybe a speakeasy or something like that. So Taylor comes to me later on and he says, hey, dude, I've got a name for my studio. I said, what's that? He goes, Speakeasy Studios.
Perfect.
I'm like, dude, what a killer name.
This was fate.
Yeah. Yes. So, by the way, I'm grateful to have this man with us. Taylor does an incredible job on all of our video content marketing. And here we are at Speakeasy Studios. A couple of years later. It took you guys long enough to get down here. Damn.
That's why we came early today, though.
All right. So I want to start it off. Let's all take a sip of the whiskey together, okay? And then I want to hear from both of you kind of what sensations you're feeling in your, I picked up a new word the other day, olfactory senses.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get this party started.
Okay.
Salute. Cheers.
Salute. Cheers.
I want to know the notes that you're picking up.
So that one's that's on the tip of your tongue. Mm-hmm. Some of them will hit more hot in the back, but that one's right on the tip of my tongue.
See, I've always been of the mindset though, like when you're sipping whiskey, I have to have it a little cooled down.
Right.
Because I don't know, maybe I'm not a whiskey connoisseur yet. Somebody might call me out on that, but
Well, we're learning. So but I think it's usually the third sip that you really get the flavors.
I'm
let's
picking
take
up
one more sip.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Salute.
See, don't you taste a little bit different on the second time?
Yes.
So I pick up a little smoke,
I was gonna say oak.
oak. Yeah, a little smoke, oak. A little leather maybe.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. A little leather.
Smoking leather.
Yeah, maybe some, I don't know, maybe some cedar.
I'm going to go for one more sip.
Go ahead.
Give me my third sip.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What are you picking up, Barbie? What do you got going on there?
Well, I feel that it hits the tip of my tongue first, but then it's got a nice burn in the back of the throat.
Grandpa's old cough medicine.
Yeah.
A little better. A little better than that.
little better than that. Yeah, yeah.
I kind of feel, I don't know, I'm picking up like a little bit of a nutty.
Nutty.
Do you guys taste a nutty in it? No?
I don't know if I could taste the nuts.
Barbie is really good about the nut
I
tasting.
am good about nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's keep this thing moving along here. So, all right. So I want to talk a little bit about you guys briefly as we transition from the nuttiness into
More
our
nuttiness.
yeah, exactly into our
Crazy.
conversation here. And Barbie, I'll start with you, and then Trish, I'll kind of kick it over to you. But Barbie, one of the things that I admire about you is that when I think of hard work, when I think of discipline, when I think of dedication, if I were to look that up in the dictionary, I'd probably see a picture of you sitting right there next to it.
Aw, how
And I don't
sweet.
say that just to say that. You know, I think back to, you know, the multiple photos that I've seen on social where, you know, your car is the last vehicle in the parking lot at the end of the night. And that's something that you're proud of. And that's something that you've, you know, how should I say? That's something that you've bought into is this idea of hard work. Talk to me a little bit about where you learned that and how you were able to incorporate that into your real estate practice.
Well, I think I learned it from my mother. I was raised by a single mom. And in the very beginning of being a single mom, she worked 3 jobs to support us.
Wow.
Yes. And I just, as a child, watched her grow from working 3 part-time jobs into eventually owning hotels.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yes. And she worked at, convenience stores, cleaning motel rooms. That's where she started in the motel business. And she was fortunate enough to have an owner of one of the motels that I think saw her hard work and promoted her into the desk clerk side of it and then to manager. And then from there, he eventually helped her launch to get her own hotel.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So she was your example of hard work and dedication.
She was my example, yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So when I think of hard work, Trish, I also think of you from an effort standpoint. And I was thinking about this earlier, kind of questions that I wanted to ask you, right? And so in real estate, I've always said that real estate mortgage is a full contact sport. If you're going to be in, you got to be all in, and you can't have one toe in the water. You can't, you know, be lukewarm on this. And I was thinking, what would be an example of hard work if I were looking to my real estate professional? Well, one idea that comes to mind is a flipping ultra marathoner. So, you know, one of the things that I love about running is it's you versus you.
Correct.
That's it. It's you versus your mind. And it's like, who's going to win? Right. And so if I wanted a real estate professional to be all in with me, I'm going to look to them as an example to see what kind of things are they doing behind the scene. And so my question for you is how have you, number one, managed to take yourself from doing, you know, 5K, 10K, all the way up to, I think you said before, 60K?
That was my last one, was a 60K.
And Ironman.
Well, I did an Ironman a couple years ago. Right.
That's incredible.
So I'm back into trail running now. Yeah.
So walk me through, you know, what kind of stuff is going on in your mind when you're doing these long runs, and how have you been able to take that long distance running and incorporate the disciplines that you've gleaned from that and incorporate that back into your real estate practice?
You know, when you're out running, you actually, in your mind, the things that go on at work, you're thinking them over again, and you're solving the problems while you're running. And same thing with working. It's like, it's just perseverance. It's one foot in front of the other. How do I get from point A to point B? You know,
so sometimes like a real estate transaction might feel like an ultra marathon, right?
It definitely does, yeah.
And you've got to finish it and finish it
right.
strong.
If I'm climbing up a hill or a big mountain, lots of rocks, how do I get over that? You know, successfully. It's almost the same thing with your transactions. You run into a little snag. You know, how can you maneuver around that, you know, without making it too bumpy for your clients?
In the Marine Corps, we'd call that adapt, improvise, and overcome.
And I always like to say when I'm running is just stand up or stay upright. Don't fall down. Don't lose my teeth. So, because a lot of times there's a cliffside. You know, you don't want to fall off of that. Same thing with real estate. You're trying to get the path going.
So let me ask you this question: what do you do when you want to quit?
You don't.
Why?
There's on the trails. There's no one to pick you up. You've got to go. When I do the 60K from Mayor, it was Black Canyon Ultras from Mayor High School down to Rock Springs. There's no place for people to pick me up at if I'm in the middle of the trail. So I have to keep going. Same thing with real estate. My clients are expecting me to keep going to get that transaction closed for them. So there's no stopping.
There's so many parallels that I see here between what you're explaining to me, real estate transaction, almost as if you're serving as a guide to your families on a 30-day long distance run, right? That you're out in front, kind of blazing the or what would they say, blazing the trail for them, you know, so that way they can get home, pun intended.
Right.
Love that. So
Sometimes
you guys,
we're in a jungle cutting the bushes
true.
down
Absolutely.
on that trail. But we'll get you there.
for sure. So you guys predominantly work the West Valley, but you'll go all
Anywhere.
over,
We go
anywhere. Okay, so you're talking West Valley to Maricopa.
I think back in the day when it was a Bango, which we don't want to see that again, my longest day was Apache Junction.
Casa Grande.
Casa Grande, but one day I had to go to Apache Junction to Arlington, Arizona.
Where is Arlington?
Out on the other side of Tonopah. You know where the power station is, Palo Verde?
Yeah.
Arlington is just to the east of Palo Verde.
So that is an ultra
That's a 300-mile a day. I call it ass flattening day. You're in your car.
So one of the things that I love about you guys is that I said this a little earlier, is you love to have fun, right? You have fun in your real estate practice. You don't just, kind of team up together here, but you're also hanging out off the field. Right. How does having fun make your job more meaningful in serving your clients?
Well, I think you just have to have that, because our jobs can be stressful. Yours is the same way when you're dealing with emotions. It is a business, but it's an emotional business for your clients. So to keep us sane, we have to have fun at the same time. So we work hard, we play hard. We incorporate our families into it also. Barbie was taking renewal hour classes yesterday, so I had to get my husband, who's retired. He just is not truly retired yet, to help me stage. So her husband comes in also. So we just, we make sure we do everything.
He almost died yesterday, by the way.
Moving furniture?
Oh, no.
So our husbands have been real estate husbands for 17 years.
Husbands.
Yes.
18 years.
So
they think they know the business.
My husband decided last night to give me tips for my new client on what I should and should not say. So I said, "Oh, stop. Hold on.
It.
No. Let me call Barbie, put it on speaker." So I called Barbie and I said, "Barbie, Ron's going to give me real estate tips on how to handle my client and what I should say. Go ahead, Ron." And she's like, "Ooh, Ron."
I said, "I'll get your eulogy written."
Ooh, I like that.
So we just we like to include them. And so we have fun with that,
He did proceed to tell me what Trisha should tell her clients.
And then she proceeded to tell me he's right. So
I didn't say he was right. I said, well, he has a point.
Yes.
So it reminds me of something that maybe Sylvia shared with me once. Honey, you're entitled to your own opinion, even if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, even if it's wrong. So talk to me a little bit about this market's been all over the place, right? We're seeing, just elevated interest rates, number one. Number two, we're seeing lack of inventory, although we went through a lull back in 2022 where more homes increased or kind of went onto the market. Talk to me a little bit about, predominantly I'm more wanting to know about the West Valley in particular. What are you seeing in the West Valley as far as inventory? What are you seeing as far as buyer demand, sellers? Are you seeing multiple offers? Barbie, can you talk a little bit about that right now?
We are seeing multiple offers, but only at a certain price point.
Okay.
So if you're probably, I'd say 350 and below, that's where we're seeing the multiple
and there's
offers
hardly
right
any
now.
out there at 350 and below.
Sure.
Single family homes.
Yes. We're still, I would consider to be low inventory. We could always use some more inventory. We do have buyers that are starting to, I think, surface now. It's been a little quiet on the buyer side, but I think they've finally realized that interest rates are where they're at.
Right.
And, they're not going to drop drastically anytime soon. And people have to live. They have to have a house to live. So, and like I always tell my clients, I was speaking with someone the other day, and his exact words were, I was looking at a house in 2017 and I should have bought that house. I said, and if you don't buy a house this year, you're going to be saying that same thing in 3 years. Because it's always, I shoulda, I shoulda.
Right. A friend of mine says opportunities of the lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And I think a lot of prospective home buyers, they ask the question, is now a good time to buy a house? And I think that that's a fair question to ask. It's like we should all be asking that. But it's interesting because as I was devoting some more thought to that question, I said, do we ask the question, is now a good time to invest into our 401k? Most likely not, right? And the reason why is because we're operating under the premise or assumption that over the long haul, the stock market, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, et cetera, are all going to go up, right? Historically speaking, that's all they've done. Well, guess what? Real estate has only done one thing only, and that's, any guesses? Go up,
yeah.
right? So as a result of that, it's like, look, if you're long on real estate, you win, right? And I think what a lot of buyers have trepidation about is elevated interest rates, and it's understandable. I'm not trying to downplay that. Having said that, if the Fed, is successful in their monetary policy tightening and inflation cools or subsides, we will see interest rates go lower. But guess what's going to happen, Trish, when interest rates go lower?
Prices
More buyers,
yes.
right, are going to go into the market, and prices, to your point, Barbie, are going to continue to go up. So now when people are on the sidelines fearful is when we have to take advantage of this market and the opportunity that presents. And I am bullish. The reason why I'm asking you about the West Valley is I'm bullish on the West Valley. I think that there's going to be more people moving from California, settling in Peoria, Litchfield Park, Avondale, Goodyear, all of these places, Surprise, exactly, Waddell, that they're going to say, you know what? The juice is worth the squeeze. In other words, I'm moving from Riverside, I'm moving from Southern California and so forth, and I can buy a $500,000 home in Goodyear and it's 2,400 square feet,
or bigger.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you guys, one of the things that I love about what you do is that not only do you represent your clients with the kind of utmost, professionalism, you manage to create friends with your clients. Maybe not all of them, right? But you manage to create friendships with your clients. Talk to me about why that's important for you, Trish.
Again, that sense of familyness of having, they do become part of your family. And we talk to them quite often, and it's like when the transaction's done, for a while there, you feel like you've had this major separation that you didn't want, because you're not talking to them on a daily basis.
Right. So
you do have to reach out to, and they reach out to us. I've got clients that have moved to different states, and I'm constantly in contact with them. How you doing? How the family's doing? They call me. There's no transaction at that time, but I want to know truly what's going on in your life. What's happening?
Right.
Because there's that friendship, and you want to keep that for life.
Right. And clients for life.
Clients for life,
Right.
yeah. Because they do refer you back, but the big thing is that they become so important in that moment that you want to hold on to that. Because I think your tribe can be huge.
Right.
You have your smaller tribe, right? Your daily tribe, Barbie, and some few others. But you want to keep those tight. But we have all this space for all these people, and you just want to keep them with you. Just want to know what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah.
Births, deaths, marriages,
Sure.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's probably one of the hardest parts of my job is when you get your buyer or your seller you become intimate with them for 30 days.
Right.
I mean, really, like I become a part of their family. I know what they're doing. I meet their children. I hear their interaction. They open up to you. They tell you, you know, what's happening in their world at that time. Some of it could be, you know, happy moments. Some can be sad moments, trying moments. And you feel that, you know, as me as their agent, I feel that. If someone's, you know, going through cancer and needing to sell their house, to downsize, to help pay for treatment, I feel that.
Right.
And so then you become a part of their world. And then at the end of the 30 days or 35 days, when the deal is done, it's kind of like, I don't know,
As I
like
would
sending
say-
your kid off to college.
Right.
You know, you're happy for them, but it's like bittersweet.
Right.
So for me, it's important to stay in contact with them just because I want to, because I feel like they've opened up their world and let me in, and I want to stay in that world.
And they do tell you a lot of stuff that they maybe would not tell other people. I've had recently, I had a client whose husband passed away, and we talk. I try to talk to her about every other month, might be like 2 months, something like that, 2 or 3 months. And she was telling me that after a while, like her friends, they don't call.
Right.
They don't know what to say.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's what I'm here for, because people do. They're like, you know, I don't know what to say to you anymore.
You know, that's something that you bring up a really good point, Trish, that I've always taught in a lot of my courses when I educate real estate professionals. I look at them and I go, look, you are more than just an agent. You're number one, you're an ambassador to your community, right? You have to be able to kind of make introductions. What are good childcare facilities? What are good school districts? These types of things. So you're an ambassador to your community. Number two, you're a matchmaker, right? Number three, you're a friend, you're a confidant, you know, because a lot of families are moving here from other states. They don't know anybody. And that's why it's so important for a real estate professional to not only represent them on the transaction, but represent them in the community. Right. So Barbie, I want to ask you a question now. One of my favorite sayings in life, Taylor, have you ever heard this before? How high does a tree grow? Answer, as tall as it possibly can. That is a good one, right? And so the reason why I'm asking that is, Barbie, I've kind of watched or had a front row seat to your success as a real estate professional all the way back to when you and I were
Ground zero.
Ground zero, yeah. You know, the term that I use is area canvassing the streets. A quick sidebar story. I've done door knocking one time in my career, and it was with Barbie and one other particular agent. And you guys, this is a true story. We knocked on the door. Dude opens the door with a revolver in my face. I said, this is the last time that I am ever door knocking again. I
think
was
it was your
scared
last time.
ishless. So, you know, back to this, you know, from door knocking in surprise to kind of where you're at now. I've watched your growth and maturation as a real estate professional evolve from not just a real estate agent, but now you are a real estate brokerage owner.
I am.
Partner in Remax Desert Showcase, which is amazing. So if I'm a real estate professional and I'm looking to learn from some of the very best, talk a little bit about what a prospective real estate agent who is kind of maybe aimlessly wondering, looking for a tribe or a community to plug into, to do life together, and at the same time, build a thriving real estate practice. What are they going to get from Barbie and Trish?
Well, they're going to become part of a great culture, a good family. We have, I think, hands down, one of the best offices in the Valley.
I believe that.
We have about 45 agents right now. We are growing. We're excited about the growth that's going to be happening. But we offer, a lot as far as education, support. You can reach your broker.
By the way, this is, sorry, not to interrupt. This is starting to cool down a little bit, and it's kind of hitting the spot. You know? let me
But yeah, we have a great culture. I think a motto we kind of live by at our office is work hard and play harder.
Yeah.
We have Remax Lake Days where the agents, we go to the lake in the summertime. We're
I
always
believe on our the boats called the conference rooms.
Yeah.
The office.
Yeah, it's the
So we'll be
conference
in
room.
conference all day today. You might be able to reach us, but we'll call you this afternoon.
love that.
Yes. Yeah.
Jimmy, when's the boat coming?
Yeah, that's a great question. Hey, Taylor, we got to go out there and film that, or we got to make sure that we're doing interviews on the boat. Me and Taylor can get out there with you guys.
Yeah, we have a great time.
And then we have some more like the ski boats, but I'm going to just go for the pontoon.
I like the
slow
pontoon.
ride.
A slow ride, get the music going,
Yeah.
sit down, maybe talk, be able to sit.
What do you guys listen to on the boat?
We listen to all kinds of stuff because we've got a big mixture. Of course, I'm the country girl of
I like
Some
country,
80s,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, man.
No, we like our.
I was in the Marine Corps, man. I hung out with boys from Georgia, from
The
from
corn-fed
Texas.
boys, huh?
You know, picked up a little bit on my how would you say, Toby Keith? Should have been a cowboy.
Look at you.
I should have learned to rope and ride. Wear my 6-shooter, ride my pony on a cattle drive, stealing a young girl's heart. Just like Gene and Roy, singing those campfire songs. Oh, I should have been a cowboy. Isn't that a great?
That's
If you're
awesome.
not feeling that song,
That's
I'm
cheers.
sorry. Cheers.
Cheers.
You are dead inside. You know what I mean? Maybe this is the whiskey talking now. You know, starting to sing.
I don't know.
a
It
little
sounds good.
You only had a couple sips. You might want to slow down.
bit. I know I'm a lightweight, but
Next
I
thing you'd be breaking into Elvis.
No, I can't do Elvis. Although that reminds me of a story. I may have been drinking some wine this night, but we were at a restaurant here not too far. It's called Steak 44. And I heard it was somebody's birthday. So, you know, I've got a couple of birthday songs that I could break out on occasion. One is Frank Sinatra, Happy Birthday to You. And then I've got a Stevie Wonder song, Happy Birthday to, and then I've got an opera version.
Yeah.
So by the end of the night, I was getting requests from all different people that were celebrating birthdays at Steak 44. Steak 44 absolutely
There's your
loved
side
it.
job.
Side hustle, exactly. And we ended up getting like free beignets and everything like that.
Nice.
Sylvia was so embarrassed. You
See,
know, but
no, I would have had the tip hat.
Sylvia.
pass it around.
We have the square too. We can swipe.
So
He's
listening.
available Saturday night. by the way.
Exactly. So listening to country music on the boat, life is good. So one of the things that you guys have also put a heavy emphasis on is serving veterans and active duty military, which
Yes.
I absolutely love, right? Because I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. We're drinking whiskey founded by a few soldiers that served in Afghanistan.
Cheers
so
to them.
the epicenter of, in my opinion, the kind of military presence in the state, really, or a couple of different places, but in particular, Luke Air Force Base. Your guys' backyard, right? Your office, 83rd Avenue in Peoria, if I'm not mistaken. Thunderbird, thank you. So you've got Luke Air Force Base there. And one of the things I love about, you know, active duty military from a business standpoint, right, is that they come in, they go out on PCS orders, permanent change of duty station. They're coming into your market. One of the things that you guys heavily focus on is serving veterans in active duty military. And so if I'm a active duty service member or a veteran, what are some things that I need to know about? Trish, I'll kick this over to you. What are some things that you would say I need to know about if I'm purchasing a home, utilizing my VA home loan benefit, these types of things?
Well, you want to know your BAS, and so your base allowance. It's not supplies.
Basic allowance for housing. Yep.
Right?
And then basic allowance for subsidy. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Also, we want to know your the ETS.
Yep. How soon are they getting out of the military?
Right?
I'll press pause on that for just a second because you bring up a good point. It's like if you're getting out of the military in less than a year, well, I, as a mortgage originator, have to be able to document what you're doing in the civilian sector. And so a lot of mortgage lenders, they don't know how to read this stuff. Right. So it's like you need to make sure that you're working with somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to VA loans, because a lot of mortgage originators dabble in VA loans. And there's a lot of potential landmines that you could step into if you don't know what the heck you're doing. The way I explain it like this, Trish, really quick, it's like in the Marine Corps, I was an infantryman, right? And so here's the deal. You don't want an infantry Marine working on electrical equipment on aircraft. Barbie, you wouldn't want to get on that plane, would you?
No.
And the reason why, that was an emphatic no. And the reason why is because I haven't been trained on those systems, and you might not ever arrive at your final destination.
Because you will wire it wrong.
Because I will wire it wrong, right? Same thing with a VA loan. So back to that question, if I'm a veteran, what would you say is kind of some of the benefits of purchasing a home with a VA loan? And in particular, how can you, as a real estate professional, help structure their offer in a way that it gets accepted? Because I hear a lot of agents kind of poo-poo VA loans. How are you helping veterans kind of overcome that?
Well, you know, right before we even sit down to write the offer, we do have our discussions. And a lot of veterans, though, because, you know, it's zero down payment, right? But there's closing costs.
Sure.
So I do have to, you know, preface that with the closing costs. There's a couple of different ways you can write a contract. You can add closing costs to it. You can ask the seller to pay them. But I do tell them, you know, it's still a seller's market, so they might not. But I want to jump ahead a little bit. I have a client who bought his first house at VA. he has one more year here in Phoenix. And he called me up and he said, Trisha, should I sell it or should I, when I move, or keep it as a rental? And from our class that you just taught us, I said, again, based on what he has in his VA left over, his allotment, I said, if it was me, as much as I would love to sell your house, hold on to it. You're young. You and your wife, this is your generational wealth. You can purchase another home with your VA.
You're speaking my love language right
So I told him, I said, I would love to sell your house. But if you can, hold it. This is your future that you're happening. And I said, in the next state, wherever you end up at, you can purchase another home there.
So I want to press pause on that for just a second and look at the camera and say, did you guys hear what she just said? She just told her client who reached out to her to sell her home, don't do it. That makes me think of putting your best interest in front of my own. And not a lot of real estate professionals, or I would leave out the word professional, not a lot of agents would tell you as a veteran or active duty service member, hey, don't sell this home, right? Because, well, you're going to lose money over the long haul and you're building generational wealth. I just think that's so admirable. And to have a agent who is advocating on behalf of the veteran or active duty service member is a breath of fresh air. So on behalf of veterans, thank you for doing that. Yeah. Yeah. So how, in your experience, have sellers really, like a lot of listing agents I've experienced throughout my career are reluctant to accept a VA loan? Number one, why do you think that is? And number two, how are you structuring your clients' offers to get them accepted, to kind of put that bum scoop to the side and say, no, that's not how it works. And here's the reasons why. What are you guys doing there as a team to make that happen?
Well, I think it's about a lot of misconceptions. A lot of I would say,
you have to educate the
you
listing
have to
agent,
educate.
the selling agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
In other words,
so make that phone call
Right
before
up
you
front.
present the offer.
right.
Explain, your client,
'Cause there's no cost that the
VA.
seller has to pay to take that
I
VA.
think that's a really
right?
good point
Right.
that you make. A lot of listing
and
agents.
it's a guaranteed loan.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of listing agents will think that their seller has to pay a portion of the cost. It's like, no.
No.
Who told you that? Well, my agent. Well, it's like bum scoop.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Bum scoop.
I'm going to use that because I use another one that's probably a little bit more derogatory, but I like the bum scoop.
Bum scoop.
Yeah.
Clean it up a little bit.
Don't give me no bum scoop.
Get that mess out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right.
So you're educating the listing agent, right? So if I'm a veteran watching this video and I want somebody to advocate on my behalf, it's like, I'm calling you guys.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So
got you.
We got you. I like that.
Well, they have us. We can only have them in real estate.
Yeah.
Without them, we wouldn't be selling real estate.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Reminds me of like,
Yeah.
without you, there's no me.
That's correct.
Yeah, 100%. So we're sitting here, we're sipping a little whiskey with the whiskey sipping realtors. We're having a good time. You guys are smiling. You guys look happy. That's not just the whiskey, is it?
No.
You guys are having a
we're
good time.
We're always happy.
Good deal.
If we have a road
always
trip
happy.
after this, we're going to be ecstatic.
Yeah, you guys are on the road.
We're
Huh?
going to Wine in the Pines
Wine. What's that?
in Crown King.
Crown King, Arizona, a little small town. It's about 70 miles from Phoenix. They have an annual Wine in the Pines. Happens, it is tomorrow, and the benefits go toward the Crown King Fire Department.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we have auctions.
Now, Trish, you've got a home up there.
I do have a
Yeah.
home up there for
Are
the
you-
last 10 years.
Are you selling
have
real
a
estate
home
up
up
there?
there.
I do
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we do. Yeah. She has a boat. We have a boat.
Yeah.
And
She
we have
just
a cabin.
pays for the house.
Yes,
but-
she pays for the boat.
That's the best. That's the best deal there, right? Yeah.
Actually, that's probably what we're going to be talking about tonight. I do not sell in Crown King. It's you kind of have to know your area of expertise.
Sure.
It's not mine, so I have a referral agent up there. She has her own company up there, and
She's
so
full-time up there.
Full time, she lives there, so she knows where all the mines are at. And knows the water, so I would not.
Right.
I might walk you into one,
Sure.
since it's bad for my form.
Right.
I might have to come get you.
Right.
Unless I
Yeah.
hear a rattlesnake, and I'm like, don't move.
I'm gone. Exactly. So let me ask you guys. I'm going to put you on blast for a second here, Barbie. What's one thing that we might not know about you that you'd be willing to share with us today?
I eat peas on my tacos.
Oh my. Oh my. She eats peas on her tacos. Okay. All right. I wasn't expecting that. How about you, Trish?
I do not eat peas on my tacos.
Is that like a New Mexico thing?
That is not a New Mexico thing. She says it is. We have talked to people from New Mexico. They said, no, that's
No.
a Barbie thing.
That is a Barbie thing.
I would say it's a New Mexico thing, but I don't know. It's a family thing.
I see.
I just grew up that way.
That's right up there with
My
putting ketchup
grandmother-
on your chips.
Ew.
Right?
That's Canadian?
Okay.
Yeah, I thought New Mexicans like wet tacos, Chico's tacos. Is that?
What's
Or
a,
no, is that's Texas maybe?
Okay, I don't know what a wet taco
Yeah,
is.
what is your taco?
I don't know what a wet taco. He's talking about wet taco.
I was leaving that alone too.
We're going
Too much
extremes
whiskey.
now.
Man.
Well, I'd rather have a wet taco than a dry taco.
I walked into that one.
Yeah, man. That was a landmine. Yeah.
And we were going to step on it too.
Yeah, we were definitely going to get. So, Barbie, you recently acquired an Airbnb. Now you're doing some
did.
investing in the short-term rental market. Talk a little bit about what that's been like.
I love it. It's been great. We bought in New Mexico, in Ruidoso. So I think if you're thinking of doing a short-term rental, Airbnb or VRBO, whichever it is, I think you need to pick the right area for the house. I think that's probably
Where
the
would
most
that area
crucial.
be in the West Valley, would you say?
Oh, in the West Valley?
Probably Westgate Center.
I would say Westgate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Especially
So if
with
somebody's
everything
watching
that's
this
coming
video
up.
right now and they have questions about STRs, they can contact you guys,
Absolutely.
talk a little bit more about that. And you
Absolutely.
have experience with it.
I do.
You know the kind of daily ins and outs, and you also have somebody that manages it for you.
I do.
Okay.
I have a property manager there because we're 8 hours away. So it makes no sense for us to even try to manage it ourselves. So we hired somebody and he takes care of the property for us. He does a great job on our behalf. It stays rented constantly. I mean, we're excited about it.
So let me ask you this question. If I'm a investor and I'm considering a short-term rental, what is the typical management fee if I'm including that into my kind of overall budget?
I pay 20%
Okay.
to him.
20% of the nightly rate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then the cleaning fee is $100 is what we charge. That's what my maid charges me. So I make no money off of that. $25 is what my spa guy charges. So that's part of the fees when you book my Airbnb. You'll see the $125 on there, and that goes straight to them.
2 questions on that. How has overall profitability been? And secondly, kind of the maintenance or involvement on both you and Brandy's behalf?
Well, we've owned it for 2 years. So this is the first year I think we really had to get down and dirty with maintenance. This year we had to recertify for our forest certification. So we had to go down and meet with the
What does that mean,
forest.
forest certification?
It's really cool, actually. The village of Ruidoso, because it's a mountain town and we're in pine trees, we have to have all of the pine needles raked off the property.
Like fire hazard?
Fire hazard. We had 6 trees that had to be cut down this year because they call it like in batching. So there's only 5 trees per batch. And then those 5 trees have to be within certain feet to touch the other trees. And the reason they did, because I was like, I'm not cutting down any of my trees because that's, what makes going to the mountains
Right.
and getting a cabin, right? But it made sense when they explain it to you. One of the major things is, and I didn't realize this, but if there's a fire and they're trying to drop slurry and the trees are too thick and the canopies are touching, the slurry sets on top. It doesn't even get to the fire where it needs to get. So that's the reason they do that, is so they can get the slurry down and then to prevent keeping the fire from jumping, from one batch of trees to the next to houses, etc. So it was very interesting. So this was the first year me and my husband really had to go and we raked and did all of that. We had to hire someone to cut the trees down, of course, because they were, 50 feet tall or whatever. So, but it was, other than that, it's been great. I had to replace my hot tub cover and that's been it. I mean, I've been
And the
lucky,
profitability
knock on
standpoint has been good? Mm-hmm. Nice.
been great.
Covers your mortgage?
Everything.
Wow.
Everything covers my 20%, the utilities, the mortgage, the insurance, everything on it. So I've been very fortunate. I'm using other people's money to pay for my investment.
Not a bad deal.
My
So if you
retirement
guys are
home.
watching this video and you have questions about short-term rentals, in particular in Arizona, somebody who not only is doing it themselves, but they can educate you on the process, how it works, what to expect, et cetera. There's some aggressive loan products that are available out there for somebody looking to do a Airbnb, VRBO, et cetera. So I am I'm bullish on your future as a real estate professional. Trish, I admire the heck out of you. I love to see what you're doing. When I think of somebody who does long distance running, I think of mental toughness. Mental toughness and building what I
call
would
it
refer.
crazy.
I think
And
it
I
is a
say I
little
have to have
crazy.
mental toughness to be in the office with this one.
100%. 100%.
She knows it.
Yeah. Well, you have to have mental toughness to work with Barbie Lindsay in general. I say that in, all seriousness. But Barbie is, how would you say, she is one of the hardest working agents that I have ever met.
She is an A personality, and that is a positive thing.
She is type A, which allows her to accomplish her goals and mission. And I think we're at a place now where, she just, anytime we have a buyer come through, it's like, here's the contract, Jimmy, have your way, take care of business. She leaves me alone, right? Because she knows that we've got the client and we've built, we've built upon a foundation of trust.
Yes.
And so I will say this too, when I have real estate needs, Barbie has represented me, not only on the buy side, but on the sales side as well. Mm-hmm. Barbie was the seller's agent for one of my properties recently. And it was incredibly, how should I say, just there was a lot going on. She came in and was just a pro.
Well,
and
thank you.
I'm grateful for you and our partnership and really the pouring into me that you've done over the years, Trish. I want to say thank you for your partnership as well. And it's been fun to lock arms with both of you and grow together. We've come a long way.
I was about to say, you've come an amazing way to, look, when you're speakeasy.
Great journey. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Mm.
So as we kind of come in for a landing here, is there anything else on your heart? Anything else you want to talk about or cover today that maybe we haven't already done so?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I can't think of
I
anything.
think we're feeling nice mellowness here.
Little mellow mood. How long we been filming, Tay?
We are in about 44 minutes.
Oh, wow.
44 minutes.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun, ladies.
I do have one more thing to say. If you are a real estate agent, you have to take one of Jimmy's classes.
Oh, yes.
His VA classes. They are amazing. When you put the class on for my office, they loved it. They learned so much. Everybody walked away saying, that was amazing. I learned this. I didn't know that. So thank you.
My pleasure. And, I'm of the mindset as a mortgage loan originator and a real estate agent that our income is directly related to the amount of value that we provide the marketplace. And it's like, if you want your income to go up, well, doggone it, you got to become more valuable. How do you become more valuable? It's like, well, education. And education's one thing, but putting it into practice is a completely different thing, right? So it's taking what we've learned and sharing that information with enthusiasm. And that's what I've learned from a gentleman by the name of Brian Tracy, who taught me this. He said, sales is simply one thing. It's the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another.
Yes.
I'm enthusiastic.
I like that.
I'm enthusiastic about helping veterans and active duty military. I'm enthusiastic about serving my real estate partners. I'm enthusiastic about life, and I'm excited to see where you guys are going to continue to grow. In other words, I'll kind of park on this and say, I'll see you at the top. Ladies, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Thanks for having us.
Success. 44